This is my This is my Y'all better clap. Y'all better clap in this mother. Yeah, that's right. Clap. Yeah, nigga, clap. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Hey guys, I'm Pokemon 1086 and welcome back to a brand new video. Man, after what, 2 months of being gone, it feels really good to say that. I kid you not. I have been wanting to come back to YouTube for like several months now, but you know, a lot of life complications came up. Not really complications, but just a lot of busy stuff, being someone in my mid-20s, working a full-time job, and then your occasional anxiety and depression. I could stand here or I could be sitting on my desk talking about the problematics of becoming an adult in your mid-20s and the power of responsibility and all this life stuff about me being anxious and depressed and really struggling, but I know you guys don't want to see that, and I'd rather stand here behind my anime figures, my Funko Pop, and manga to talk about video games. So that's what I'm going to be doing for you guys in this brand new video game review. This game surely is old because this was a game I played religiously when I was in high school, and that game I am talking about in today's video is Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2. Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2 was released on November 2nd, 2010, and it was developed by Spike, published by Namco Bandai Games, and is released on both the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. And as of late 2010s, Raging Blast 2 has sold over 580,000 units worldwide. The game was first announced in May 3rd issue of Weekly Shonen Jump. The announcement revealed that the game would include up to 90 playable characters in total and improved visuals. It was also revealed that the game would be released for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 consoles later that year. Since then, local magazines like Weekly Shonen Jump, V-Jump, and others have been showing images of newly announced and returning characters, map images, and gameplay images trying to get people excited for the game. Before the game was released, Namco Bandai's North America branch announced that a feature exclusively from Japan would be revealed in the North American version of the game titled Dragon Ball Plan to Eradicate the Super Saiyans, which is a feature film following the events of the Sea Fighters facing off against a villain called Hachiak created by the Truffle Army years ago. The PS3 version of the game would go on to be the best-selling game for November in Japan, beating out both Super Mario Collection Special Pack and Pokemon Black and White version. Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2 received mixed reviews from critics praising the game as an improvement from the prequel, but some felt the game didn't quite make expectations due to not having a proper story mode, awkward camera angles, and repetitive gameplay. So Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2 was one of my favorite Dragon Ball Z games to play as a kid. I mean, surely everybody has that one Dragon Ball Z game that they stuck to like glue, but this happened to be one of like the few that I really stuck to, that I played religiously. I grinded in every single day so that way any nigga that stepped into my block and my Fortress of Solitude, they getting that 2-piece combo with a biscuit and a cherry. Oh! You already saw the video where I talked about my favorite video game of all time, which indeed is Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. This one right here pretty much comes in a close second. I'm sure there are other Dragon Ball Z games out here that are way better than Raging Blast 2, but to be fair, I haven't mastered a lot of them. Some, but not all. I just like to go back to my roots, to when I was really feeling happy, even though I was depressed in high school, but I was still happy playing this game. With the game, it actually was so much fun. Like, me and my friends used to play this all the time. I used to play it all the time in video game club back in high school too. We always used to run fades in this game every day. Any new person wanted to come up and get the smoke, me and the homies were on it. My first time I believe I actually played this game was when, I think it was back on the PS3, when one of my old friends was talking about how he was going to run that fade all week long. Keep in mind, I never played this game because I never owned it. I literally picked up them joints, whooped that dude's ass. And you know what? I fell in love with the game ever since. I literally begged my mom to get it for me for Xbox, and I did. So now that I mentioned all the details, the receptions, and the development, and all the meat and cheese of the game, now it's time to get into the pros and the cons. So for pros, I'm gonna start off with certain playable characters. Now in this game, compared to like, what was it, when I was hopping on Budokai Tenkaichi 3, this game has a lot of new characters to offer. Now, some are, I believe, the same from Raging Blast 1, which I owned, but I never fully beat Raging Blast. So for me, some of the characters that were on here that were also on Raging Blast were new to me. It felt so cool to play as Vegeta Super Saiyan 3, Broly Super Saiyan 3, Vegeta's brother Tarble. You got to play as Android 1415. Let me just say real quick that these niggas straight made a nigga. Like, look at this dude. They literally made a stereotypical black guy. I don't care what any of y'all have to say to me in the comment section down below. I don't care. They straight made a black dude. Like, look at him. Look at them lips. Look at the skin. I get he's purple, but bruh, come on. You can't sit here and tell me that this ain't a nigga, bruh. Like, in the movie, if you seen Super Android 13, that dude carried around a flask. Like, he was sipping on that cognac. He was sipping on that Hennessy. Bruh, straight nigga. I don't care, bruh. Some racist ass. Back to the video. I don't know, it's just something about playing those new characters, because as a Dragon Ball Z fan, everybody's always wanted to see when was Vegeta gonna go Super Saiyan 3 like Goku. You kind of get that aesthetic because you get to play as Vegeta Super Saiyan 3 and Broly Super Saiyan 3. Not only that, but you get introduced to a whole new character that the game is centered around called Hatchiak. I hope I pronounced that right. But he is like this ruthless thing created by the turtle. How the f do you pronounce that turtle? That one dude from the Tree of Might that looked just like Goku, his race. They were created by them to eradicate all Saiyans. And he literally had one thing in mind: kill Goku. On the said game, you get featured that little movie, Plan to Eradicate the Saiyans, which of course is in Japanese sub, but I ain't tripping. A little fun feature to kind of sit and watch. And as a kid, I definitely remember being hyped as heck.
Oh my gosh, a Dragon Ball Z movie, ah!
Like any other kid would, I was super hyped. Now as an adult, it's just kind of like, I mean, it's alright, but it ain't all of that. But granted, playing as Hatchiak's cool and all. Goku in that little short film did compare him to being stronger than Broly, just by a little bit. And that's saying something, because Broly was a legendary Super Saiyan. Broly was that nigga. And if Hatchiak's stronger than Broly, boy. Alright, so next one on the pros list is Galaxy Mode. So one thing that I definitely liked about this game was that it kind of had like a new little feature. Granted, it wasn't your typical story mode like most DBZ games do have. It still was really cool to kind of get that little aspect of a Galaxy Mode where you get to literally play as every single character from where they came in the storyline. Think of it as if you were to play as, let's say, Android 18. You literally got to experience and battle the people that she battled throughout the DBZ storyline. So you would go against Cell, you would go against Piccolo, you would go against Trunks, you would go against Future Gohan. I think that was a really cool feature because it's different. Whenever I play a new video game, sometimes I like to see different things, especially if it's within the same franchise. I mean, some stuff was pretty damn challenging, even for me, I'll admit, but it was still fun because that's how you would unlock most of the characters. All right, next one on the pros list is graphic improvements. You know, I will admit the graphics in that game did improve from Raging Blast 1 and from a lot of the other Dragon Ball Z games that came before it. Now, everything was like 3D looking, just like how some of the other games were too. If you look at Planet Namek, for example, that water looks almost realistic. Like, it looks really good. Some of like the level designs, like for Hell, Glacier, you know, for City, and just like, you know, Hyperbolic Time Chamber, even some of the character designs, everything was really improved. And that's typically how it is when developers try and make a sequel to a game. They're gonna want to improve some things. They're not gonna improve everything that the fans really want, but usually some people try and go for the graphics because a lot of developers and companies think that graphics are like the main target to money making. And yes, it is true in some aspects, but some people like myself don't always care about the graphics more than I do the actual story and what is available to do in that said story mode or other features of the game. But I will admit that the graphic improvements in this game really did blow me away as a kid. So then last but not least on the pros is the character roster. So like I mentioned earlier, you had a bunch of different characters, especially a lot from the first Raging Blast, but then you got new characters. To be fair, the character roster is pretty huge. Like, you do get what? God, I can't think of the number off the top of my head, so I'll put it somewhere on the screen here. But you do get a lot of characters to play as in the game. Granted, some characters may not be as good as others, but I mean, a lot of those characters have really cool moves. Like, I like doing the father-son Kamehameha. I mean, granted, it's not the best one I've seen out of the Dragon Ball Z games. Future Gohan's finishing move is pretty good. Cell's first form finishing move is actually really cool in my opinion. I mean, like I said, to be fair, the character roster was really huge, even though it didn't have GT characters like some people were hoping. But I mean, it's whatever, man. They gave us new characters that really weren't in a whole lot of Dragon Ball Z games to begin with, so I was impressed by that. I didn't care if I didn't get no GT characters, but overall, yeah, man, that roster, man, it's mwah. Alright, so before I move on to the cons, I'm gonna let my homie Digest Games say a little couple things about Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2, since he himself is a big Dragon Ball Z fan. So, Digest Games, take it away.
RB2, Raging Blast 2. This game is actually really fun. In my personal experience, I've never actually really had any issues with the game. Now, I know some people who actually played the game didn't really like Galaxy Mode all that much because it's very repetitive. But for me personally, I found Galaxy Mode to be quite fun. You know, having to go through all of these challenges to unlock all these characters. I'm not gonna lie, it was very tough at times, and there were some challenges that it took me forever just to complete. But I managed to get all of the characters that I wanted to unlock. I managed to get all the characters that were playable in the game. And you know what? I think it was worth it. I really enjoy playing all the characters. They all have, you know, their own unique techniques that Dragon Ball Z fans will recognize from the anime. And the game is very faithful to, you know, what Dragon Ball is all about. High-speed action, intense action, destructible environments, you know, the super attacks and the ultimate attacks of iconic Dragon Ball characters are very accurate. Like, for example, when Goku does his super spirit bomb, like, you know, it's exactly how Goku did it in the anime when he fought Kid Buu like, he goes up into the air, summons this giant spirit bomb, and then when he hits the opponent with the spirit bomb, then he turns Super Saiyan and just obliterates his opponent. Like, it is just beautiful. Like, the ultimate attacks are always fun to watch. It kind of reminds me of Ultimate Ninja, the Ultimate Ninja Storm series, with the Ultimate Jutsu cinematics, and even just using the super attacks, like being able to use Goku's Kamehameha or Vegeta's Big Bang attack is always fun to pull off. And the graphics for RB2 are actually not that bad. In fact, I'll even say it's far better than Xenoverse, because the character models in RB2 don't look super shiny, because that's one of the biggest issues that a lot of people have with Xenoverse. But RB2, in my opinion, does the graphics right, the combat right. Not to mention, unlike Xenoverse, RB2 actually has beam clashes. Like, why did they remove that for Xenoverse? I don't know, but RB2 is one of the few Dragon Ball games that has beam clashes and does it right. And overall, yeah, I really do enjoy this game. And the only other issue I can find is, where is Raging Blast 3? Where is Raging Blast HD collection or remake or whatever? That's my only problem with the franchise. But yeah, overall, aside from that, I really love the game. 8 out of 10, near perfect. And yeah, I'm gonna pass it over to my friend.
Hey man, I agree with everything you said. I mean, it is a pretty good game. Some areas could have had a little bit of tweaking, but overall, it's not a bad experience. Thanks for coming on the channel and explaining everything there was that you liked and disliked about the game. And if you guys want to check out more from him, his links will be down in the description below. So give him a subscribe, give him a like, give him a follow. You won't be disappointed. All right, so to start off the cons, I got certain character finishing moves. Now, I know I just talked about in the character rosters for the pros that I liked some of the character finishing moves, but there is some that I did not like Tarbles, for an example, the one where all he did was, just give a couple, hooks here and there. And then he did a little thing where he dialed his spaceship to crash on the person. That was kind of whack. I'm not gonna lie, that shit ain't it, chief. Amp up the antics, you know what I'm saying? Amp up the character moves and stuff, which brings me to my next thing, which is repetitive attacks. So if you look closely, there are some characters who do the same exact moves. I believe Gohan and Trunks at one point use the same kind of move. They give the same look. To me, that just kind of looks lazy that you just have repetitive attacks within the game. So this one is kind of like a hypocritical kind of one to say here, but Galaxy mode I also did put in the cons, only because it was cool. Don't get me wrong, Galaxy mode was cool. I just thought that there could have been some improvements. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't no wimp, but some of that stuff was kind of hard. Like, you were supposed to go up against 5 niggas and not get hit once. I mean, if I can't do it, then I guess that must means I just suck at video games and I'm just a bitch, right? No. Let me tell y'all something. If I give you 5 big ass, strong ass dudes to go against, and it's only one of you, you ain't got no health. So if you even get hit with a blast trying to dodge it and you missed that dodge because you was clicking buttons and you clicked the wrong button to do it, if you was trying to charge up real quick so you can repeatedly give them that ultimate move, and you just got hit with something out of the blue, which you weren't paying attention, and then you got to start the whole all over. And especially when it's like when you on that time limit for the Raging Soul and you gotta beat a couple people before all your Raging Soul runs out. That shit was tedious too, which leads me to the next thing. I want to admit, just like everybody else complained about it, essentially there was no story mode, but at the same time there was, because Galaxy technically could be considered a story mode because you're playing as certain characters for certain scenes within the DBZ timeline. So in a way, that can be the story mode itself, but it's not no exact story mode, which a lot of critics complained that there wasn't an actual story mode. But I think the developers were trying to get a feel for something new, which was introducing Galaxy mode, which I ain't tripping about. But I will say, getting something like a Dragon History wouldn't have been bad either. And last but not least in the cons was less tournaments than usual. So what I mean by that is in the game, you only can do 2 different types of tournaments, the Cell Games and the World Tournament. Now, granted, in other games, they'll give you a bunch. You'll get at least 5 different types of tournaments you can do. For this one, you were only given 2. And it's just why only 2? I'm guessing maybe it's because Galaxy mode takes up a lot more data and more space within the game, and you want to kind of incorporate other features too. We did get a whole ass hour-long film with a new character after you watch the film. But anyways, guys, that concludes the video game review for Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2. I know I've been gone for a little minute. I'm gonna try and get these videos pumped out whenever I'm not stuck at work or I'm dealing with stuff behind the scenes. But if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, dislike if you didn't, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. Guys, we are trying to reach 1K subscribers by the end of 2021. I know we can do it. Y'all been showing love on the channel, all the comments and all the love I've been getting. Thank you guys so much. You guys push me to continue making content. And if you're not gonna like the video for me, at least like it for the Raging Blast 2. And if there are any features that you liked about the game, any characters or any other things about it, let me know down in the comments below. I like to engage in a conversation with you guys. If you want to follow me on my social media accounts, there are links in the description below to my Twitter and my Instagram account. And if you want to check out my second channel, AfroGeek Plus Ultra Nappy, that is also in the link in the description below. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, don't forget to check out Digest Games. Links also in the description below. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Alrighty guys, I am Pokemon 6 and I am out of here.